Well, like I said, I interviewed Foolio. I also interviewed Youngeen Ace. And in both interviews, my whole thing was, look, I understand there was a lot of violence back and forth. I understand there was a lot of, nasty things being said, very hurtful things, very personal things being said along the way. But if you guys continue down this path, everyone's going to be dead in a wheelchair or in prison. There really is not, maybe the main guys will be able to survive all this because they could afford the security and live in gated communities and only come out during certain moments. But in general, it's going to bring more death and destruction, and no one really wants that. At some point, you have to sit back and say, we're just going to have to talk it out and either agree to disagree and just kind of keep moving with our lives. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So ultimately, what I try to push in these interviews with these young men, who are all much younger than me, a lot of times they're half my age or even less, is that it takes a certain level of intelligence and wisdom to get into your 40s and 50s. Way too many people had a bad moment in their lives that didn't allow them to get this old, or put them in a prison cell for the rest of their life. At some point, you have to say, these problems are not going to be able to be fixable, but we could go on with our lives without attacking each other anymore and aggravating the same situation. I have enemies just like everyone else, but I don't sit there and dwell on my enemies and keep talking about them and keep escalating the situation. Ultimately, when they see that I don't put out that energy, they stop putting out their energy, that same type of energy, and they go on and do something different. If both people aren't clashing with each other, ultimately both people will go on with their lives. And I don't want to see any more people that I've interviewed die violently, because I've had so many people I've interviewed die violently.
Let me just say this.
It's crazy to me.
Most rappers are not leaders. Most rappers are not leaders in their hood. They got the leaders around them, backing them, right? Most rappers ain't no big dog, homie. They became a big dog from rapping because they got the niggas from the hood behind them. The niggas from the hood behind them that we don't get to see, they get to become important and become hood star because they're attached to the rapper when they go back to the neighborhood. Oh man, he be with Foolio, right? So they need the beef. They need it. So they put the key in the rapper's back because he's not a leader. He don't know how to tell him, nah, homie. We go woo woo. Because if he say no, oh man, you getting soft, so they go stop embracing him. Now he can't talk that gangster tough shit no more. Now he ain't got no rap content to write rap lyrics now. So it's a dangerous cycle in the process that we're seeing amongst all new young rappers. It ain't about two new rappers collabing anymore, trying to make good music. It's about two rappers now opposing each other and taking it to the streets. The greatest thing that ever happened to rap and the gang culture in the 90s was that banging on wax. Putting them niggas in the same, that was the greatest thing, homie. So much innovation into the thought of that. Now, homie, it's almost the key ingredient to becoming big and successful. Starting out as a grassroots rapper is creating the beef, having the beef, and having some shootings and some bodies, right? So they're saying we can't say nothing. We have to sit back in silence, and you can't speak on black violence. You can't speak on drill rap. You can't speak on dirt. You can't speak on what we think is wrong. So even our community and our rappers saying, you better shut up, old ass nigga. So can you imagine what they do to their grandmothers? So we can't correct y'all? We can't correct what we think is wrong? I'm not no guy coming from the street corner. I'm not no guy coming out the trap. I'm not no guy parking a forklift, getting in my car, getting on YouTube talking. I'm talking from a juvenile justice advocate community working with kids. A decade. It's a difference.